Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with the Disney Heroes Battle Mode Update 3.5.11a. And this is kind of the holiday update, as in we're not going to be getting anything else throughout the next few weeks, all the way into January, so be prepared for that as well. We are getting Sisu from Raya and the Last Dragon, and King Triton from The Little Mermaid. So let's get started by looking at Sisu. I was very worried that they were going to choose her, human form for the game, or at least for her main form, which, thank goodness they did not do that. I saw it in like the Disney Magic Kingdoms. I forget what that game is called, but they did that for that game, and it was really disappointing. Again, thankfully, it's just her dragon form here, which is like the most important form. And I didn't really like Sisu that much as a character, but I think her design is pretty fun. And again, it was really dumb in the movie to have her constantly just be in that human form when the dragon design is so much more cool. And just like visually interesting in general. So I'm really happy that they did that, and she's looking pretty great. I'm excited to see what she looks like just like on the battlefield, because I'm sure it'll be a lot more impressive. But she's going to be the prize wall character starting next week on Thursday. So just as normal, just a normal prize wall, not affected by anything, even though it is a couple of days before Christmas and everything. So let's start looking at her skills. First up is the water skills. Sisu illuminates herself instead of basic attacking enemies, healing herself and her ally that has the lowest percent of their max HP, which is really good in my opinion. I guess that's the passive one, because it doesn't say passive, but the next one says active. Sisu uses the Dragon Gem to create rain over the battlefield. When the rain starts, Sisu and her allies gain a shield. Every few seconds during the rain, the heroes with the lowest percent of their max HP get healed. I guess I neglected to say that she's a support character, so it makes sense that she's getting a bunch of supportive moves in the beginning here. I think that's a really cool, just like starting skill. That is very helpful. Either way, it's going to be helping your team overall. Next up is the Tail Whap. Sisu... this is supposed to be whip? That's weird. Sisu whips the closest enemy with her tail, dealing normal damage and knocking them back. Sisu also steals basic damage from the enemy, granting it to herself and the ally with the most basic damage. Sisu favors granting the basic damage to damage roll allies, and none exists shall grant it to whoever has the most basic damage among allies of other roles. So not only, attacking someone, but also stealing basic damage and giving it to the ally, which is pretty cool. The Fog Formation. Sisu breathes a large cloud of fog at nearby enemies, dealing fantastic damage and blinding them. Sisu also steals skill power from the enemy's hit, granting it to herself and the ally with the most skill power. Sisu favors granting the skill power to damage roll allies. If none exists, she'll grant it to whoever has the most skill power among allies of other roles. I really want to see the animation for that. That sounds really fun. And yeah, it's like constantly stealing the enemy's effects and putting it on your own team, which is cool. The Last Dragon. Sisu gains attack speed for a few seconds whenever an ally falls below a percent of the max HP. Each ally can trigger this once per wave, so I guess 4 times per wave. And then finally, the First Step. The passive portion of water skills now targets one additional ally. Sisu also shields herself and affected allies every few basic attacks. Shield lasts for a certain amount of time. Water skills now removes all stacks of fatigue from Sisu and her allies. The rain also reduces the basic damage and skill power of all enemies. Alright, and then her friendships are going to be with Mushu and Madam Mim. The Mushu one is really cool. We don't have a lot of dragons in the game, so to have the dragons interact with one another is a fun idea. Especially because they're both from like different folklore in a way. Like Sisu is a very stereotypical dragon, as well as Mushu is for both of their cultures. And then Madam Mim, I believe, can like transform into a dragon or like things that are close to that. I'm not really sure what else they're gonna, bond over, but I guess they both have shape-shifting abilities, so that might be what they talk about. So let's move on to King Triton. We got Ariel just a few months ago, and kind of the same way that Disney Sources Arena did it. We're also getting King Triton here. I'm not exactly sure how he's going to be on stage, if he's just going to be like in a puddle or just like floating or what, but like with Ariel they did the rock thing, which makes a lot of sense, but it looks like he's standing pretty tall here in this form, so I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do it, but I'm interested. And it's pretty cool to actually be getting King Triton. The Trident weapon is a fun idea, and since Ariel did not get it, it makes a lot of sense that they're giving it to King Triton. And it's cool to just have all these characters from The Little Mermaid. The only one we're really missing is Eric at this point. So if they do that, they'll pretty much have copied Disney Sources Arena. But Triton looked pretty cool, and it's a character you don't typically expect, but it is cool when you get someone like King Triton. So I'm excited for him. He's a control character, and it's going to be the January sign-in hero. So let's start going through his skills. First up is Maelstrom. King Triton creates a whirlpool on the battlefield that lasts for a certain amount of time. The enemies closest to the center of the whirlpool take fantastic damage every second while being pulled toward the center. Enemies that are being pulled towards the center of the whirlpool are considered to have been knocked back. That's interesting. I wonder how huge that whirlpool is going to be. It just kind of forms. I am very curious to see that. Alright, then the Trident Bolt. King Triton blasts the closest enemy with his trident, dealing fantastic damage in an area. If the initial target has a shield, the skill deals additional fantastic damage to all enemies hit. So again, it'll be cool to see him use that trident. I hope he also like throws it, just because that's a cool animation, but he might just use it to like shoot, which does make sense too. Turn the Tide. King Triton raises the tide, healing himself and all allies and making everyone precise. Anyone below a percent of their max HP will be healed an additional amount. Sea King. Enemies hit with Maelstrom and Trident Bolt now have all their shields destroyed. His basic attacks destroy the enemy's shield with the most HP. Spear out. Trident Bolt now favors the enemy with the most shield HP, and its cooldown is reduced whenever it destroys a shield. Enemies affected by Maelstrom take additional fantastic damage each second and have their attack and movement speed reduced. When enemies reach the center of the whirlpool, they get stunned. Alright. And his friendships are going to be with Ariel and Hank and Dory, both sea-oriented characters, which makes a lot of sense. I wonder if it'll kind of be like his relationship with Sebastian for the Hank and Dory one. I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. They're literally like meeting the god of the sea in the Little Mermaid universe, I guess. But let's move on to the final stuff. So it seems like these updates are kind of going to be like periodically coming out over the course of the next few weeks. It doesn't say anything about this Tuesday, which is what they usually do. So I'd imagine, like this one says, effective December 22nd, 2021, that we might not see Sisu in-game until that date. That just kind of makes the most sense to me. And her prize wall is starting that next day on December 23rd. So Raya is going to be an event-exclusive hero. Winifred is going to the VIP crate. Zeus is going to the Diamond crate, and Mary Sanderson will be in the Elite campaign. But that one's not until December 31st, which I don't know why they didn't just put in the December 31st section. But anyways, let's also look at that. I don't know if I put the date on here, but this section is December 31st, which it says King Triton will be the January sign-in hero. So again, I would imagine that King Triton might not be in the game until that point either. But it doesn't necessarily clarify either, so maybe he'll show up with Sisu. Because that's usually how they do it, so I'm really not sure. But existing heroes, Chip and Dale, are going to contest rewards, which I guess they already have been. Phil is going to the Guild Crate, Gadget is going to the City Watch, Eeyore is going to the Creep Surge, Pocahontas in the Arena, Kronk in the Coliseum, Russell and Kevin in the Heist, and Mary Sanderson in the Guild War. So just another way to get Mary as well, other than the Elite campaign. And then on January 4th, we're getting our mandatory level cap increase to 285, as well as the yellow plus 10. And then Chapter 51 is out with Honey Lemon, Clawhauser, Draken, Esmeralda, Lilo, Quackerjack, and Bolt. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. And that's everything. Like I said, there's nothing for this Tuesday specifically, so I imagine we're not getting anything this Tuesday. But I will be obviously looking out every single day just to see. But these are two very interesting characters that I'm excited to see. Honestly, I really thought they were going to be releasing that third character first, but by the sounds of some of the things that Lutra has been saying, she might not have been like approved yet, which is a little worrying, but I would imagine since they put so much work into actually creating her character that pretty soon here we're going to be getting her. But it may take longer than we're expecting, you know. I would imagine a lot of people are expecting her to be next, but if she doesn't get approved, that's just not going to happen. So hopefully it's sooner than later. But it's still cool to be getting these two characters here. Again, one is just a sign-in hero, so it's not like anything particularly interesting. But yeah, the rest of this month is already laid out for this game. Most games are already laying out what they're going to be doing for the rest of the month, just because a lot of people are going to be off for holiday breaks. So be prepared to just not have a lot going on, and I might start not uploading a video every day just during this period because I don't know what to make videos on, but we will see. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon for whenever these two are appearing in game. Goodbye.